What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Forza Horizon 4 videos. If you missed the previous two videos we made on Forza Horizon 4, the first one was on Japan, and we talked about the Japan rumors and why it might be true. And in the second one, we debunked a lot of fake news. It was really interesting. If you want to check them out, I'll link to them down below. But in that second one, I asked you guys for what you want to see in the next Forza Horizon game. And that is what we are going to talk about today. This is our Forza Horizon 4 wishlist video. Before we do get too far into this video though, I must give you guys a massive shout out for just absolutely going crazy on the last video and over on the website. The video has like over 2,000 comments. The website got absolutely bombarded. It was insane, so thank you guys very much. You guys have some amazing ideas, so let's get into it. So let's start it up and talk about the world. We've already done an entire video talking about locations for Forza Horizon 4, but the world specifically, what do we want to see the world include? I would think a very big part, and something you guys mentioned a lot, was seeing an actual racetrack built into the map. Maybe with like a drag strip, sort of like a motorsports part, so where there's like different layouts of the track and you can sort of do your own thing. It would be really cool. I would love to see a racetrack built into the map. I would also love to see some proper elevation changes. This is something that was missing a lot from Forza Horizon 3. The entire Forza Horizon 3 map is very level. It doesn't change very much. If you play Blizzard Mountain, yeah, we've got the whole awesome, crazy mountain. That is awesome. We need to see some more of that. I would love to be able to bomb it up hills, do hill climb, do hill descents, and I mean, because I'm me, probably tumble all the way down. That's okay too. It would also be really cool to see some snow on these mountains as well. Like Blizzard Mountain was so awesome. It was something so different. We have never seen it before. I would love to see some snow driving, some proper snow on the ground again. I think the last thing that the Forza Horizon 4 map needs is one hell of a solid downtown core. Forza Horizon 3 did pretty well here, honestly, with Surfer's Paradise. But honestly, I would love to see a huge downtown core with like parking garages where you could have your car meets, crazy lights flashing, and just like different sectors, like suburbs almost, where you could just go and see all these different environments. It would be really cool. I think if they could include those four sort of big things, the map would be perfection. Let's talk about the career mode though, because the career mode in Forza Horizon 3 was decent, but it could use some improvement. The problem with Forza Horizon 3, and all Forza games for that matter, is that essentially it is just race after race after race, and you go all these races and you do your thing. The bigger problem with Forza Horizon 3 is that there was no one to race against. There was no boss. You were the boss. And as cool as an idea as that is, it meant there's nothing to really achieve. You just keep playing and doing these races, and it got very repetitive very quickly. A lot of you guys were saying you would love to see a Forza Horizon 1 style campaign come back where you have these bosses and these pink slip battles. Stuff like that is always super cool and makes every race feel unique. And when you have to win them for actual like important reasons, that's always cool as well. So let's talk about the gameplay. Let's be honest, the gameplay in Forza Horizon games is already pretty good, but there again is some room for improvement. The little things, I like to call these. For instance, your headlights, your indicators, your convertible roofs, turning your engine off. Proper car control when you are just driving around would be very cool. There are a bunch of convertibles in the game, and if you play the Forza Horizon 3 dev version at all, you would know that you can actually open and close the convertible roofs, but they're just locked down in the actual game for some reason, which is kind of strange. So unlocking that, letting us do it ourselves, would be really awesome. I also think some more tire smoke would be very much appreciated. We've got the most powerful console ever. Why don't we boost up the tire smoke, get it going, and just create some absolute smoke shows? How cool would that be? Also, if we could sort of fix the car sound in the game, because a lot of the cars in Forza Horizon 3, although they sound good and they sound unique, they don't sound very accurate. Go back and play Forza Horizon 1, and I guarantee you, you will go and listen to those car sounds and you will be like, oh, okay, those are good. I know when I played it on the channel not very long ago, that's all I was doing. I was barely even talking in the Let's Play because I was just freaking out how good the cars sounded. So for the gameplay stuff, I believe the core gameplay is already there, but I would love to see the little things added into the game. Let's talk about some good old customization though. Let's talk about that, because that is always one of the biggest and the best parts of Forza games. I would love to see painting on windows. Decals on windows is awesome. Need for Speed does this amazingly well, and you can see what people create. Some people create really awesome stuff, and some people, like me, just give their cars eyes and do that type of stuff. It's cool. I just want the freedom to do that. It would be really awesome. I think we can all agree as well when we are always welcome to the addition of more wide bodies to the game or some new Forza aero. Again, would be much appreciated. Going back to the idea of like more freedom, I would love to see some lift kits for big trucks or some bags for normal like show cars to make them really low and cool. Freedom is good. And again, sort of the same line of freedom as that, I would love to see like custom tire letters, just like where you can write your own stuff on the tires. How cool would that be? Like, none of these things are really huge things, but I feel like just these little additions would make the game hella good. So let's talk about multiplayer, because that is where most of us spend our time. Multiplayer is already pretty good, but it could use with a couple of improvements. For instance, setting and locking the weather to the preference you want. I know for me personally, I like to make all my videos in the day just because it looks better on video, and allowing me or anybody to go in and lock the weather or the time of day to a specific setting, that would be awesome. As well as going in and turning off the traffic. Sometimes it is really cool to go in and weave in and out of traffic, but sometimes I want to go in with a bunch of friends and try to max my cars out top speed-wise, and for that, I just can't have any cars on the road, so removing them would be a good option. I think on the same lines of that, doing custom races. When I say custom races, I do not mean blueprints and choosing the cars and choosing the time of day. No. I mean going in and putting checkpoints around the map to make your own race. How cool would that be? Full-on proper custom races. The crew does it very well. I would love to see something similar come to Forza Horizon. Like, just think about the world in Forza Horizon 3. Look at all the amazing places you could race around in, and you just don't because there are no races there, which kind of sucks. On the same sort of vein as that, I would love to see some more mini-games come to Forza Horizon. We've done a lot of testing here personally as to mini-games that work and do not work. For instance, the assassination mission is an awesome mini-game that works in the game with what it has now. If it just had like proper rules set up in the game, it would be so cool. The same thing goes for like freeze tag and manhunt. These are games that we've tested and we've done like proper game testing to figure out if they work, and they do. Getting those implemented and added to the game officially with like proper game menus and game like HUDs and stuff would be insane. Like I said, a lot of the time you're just going from race to race to race. Imagine in the middle of the race, you go and play freeze tag, or you go and play the assassination mission. Like, how cool would that be? And then, I mean, at the end of the day, this is Forza Horizon. This is a car game at the end of the day, which means it does need to have some pretty good cars. So some of the most famous cars that people have been asking for recently, obviously the Tesla Roadster, that's a big one, Bugatti Chiron, McLaren 720S, and the Huracan Performante. But I was thinking, what about bringing some old favorites back? Maybe like the Gumpert Apollo, that was in previous games a little while ago. And how about bringing back like some good old Italian favorites, like the Pantera? How cool would that thing be back? It's one of like the coolest cars ever made. Oh my god, I would go crazy for that thing. Anyways, and on the same sort of line of that, what about just some crazy cars? Some of my favorite cars to drive around in Forza are these crazy cars that you don't see every day, like the Citroen 2CV. That's why I like this car pack so much, the recent one. I like the limo, I like the racing truck. I like these different vehicles that you don't get to experience in other games. So what about Mercedes G63, the 6x6 type of thing? And I mean, hey, if we can get like Toyota to pull their ass out of their thumb, that'd be great too. Did I just say pull their ass out of their thumb? Oh, I'm good at the English language. You might also have noticed I haven't mentioned things like driver gear, or homologation, or car collection tiers, or any of that. Get rid of it! Everything from Forza 7, just press delete. Nobody wants it, nobody likes it, all it did was make the game worse. So yeah, other than that, that was my wish list, or I should say our wish list for Forza Horizon 4. I think I can speak for everyone when I say this would be pretty awesome. I tried to keep it as realistic as possible, other than saying like, hey, I want 50 million cars added to the game. I tried to keep it to things that I could actually see being added to the next game. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. This was the Forza Horizon 4 wishlist. Stay subscribed because you will stay up to date with all of the Forza Horizon news. And until then, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!